Alright everybody, what's going on? It's Thundershot. Welcome back to more Tuesday Night Thunder. This is the second installment. This is not a pay-per-view special. This week I will be going through every week and every card individually, or every show individually, I should say. Now, I have simulated that Monday Night Raw. Again, ignore the rivalries. Those rivalries are not set. I'm going to find out how to change that in the future to where they don't show up anymore. But, because my universe is going to be completely different from WWE's, and then also in the process of simulating the TLC, my universe also kind of made its own rivalries and had its own outcomes, and I had to change it all back. But what we're going to be doing this week, I simulated this Raw because I wanted the shows to build, and I could have moved NXT over to Monday and then SmackDown to Tuesday and then Raw to Wednesday, but to do that I would have had to have erased every show and then put every new show up and then assigned each individual superstar back to the shows they're supposed to be on. It was a huge headache, so instead I'm going to simulate this first Raw because I want the week to build every week. So what's going to happen now is we're going to do NXT, and I'll go through and kind of tell you guys about each card and what we're going to show and what we're going to simulate in each card on our way through. But we're going to do NXT, we're going to do SmackDown, and then we're going to do Raw. And then when we do Raw, the week's over, and then obviously the video gets uploaded on Tuesday, and then be the Tuesday Night Thunder. But I like the idea of it building each week. Also, the plan, this is simulating Raw. You also don't miss out on anything because, or at least this first Raw, you don't miss out on anything because what I was going to do initially was just scrap this whole last week here. And that would be the week where instead I do the Royal Rumble, if that makes any sense to you guys. So yeah, by skipping that, excuse me, by skipping that first Raw, I'm able to do NXT, and that builds into SmackDown, and that builds into Raw, and then after Raw, the episode's over. Then next Tuesday, you guys catch another Tuesday Night Thunder where we do it all over again. Now, without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and get into the matches and get to explaining what's going on here this week. Okay, so I found out, like, this is all baby steps. This is all, I'm still learning how the WWE Universe works in the game itself. I thought I had a little bit more freedom than I did, but NXT is super limited right now because a lot of the people who are actually currently active in NXT or currently doing good things in NXT are not even in this game. I've downloaded a few from the WWE creations, but I don't think I can download them all. For example, the Hype Bros aren't in there. I wanted to have a simulated, like, throwaway singles match that I could make and then simulate, and apparently it doesn't work like that, but I'll get into that in a minute. I want to have, like, a first simulate throwaway match. I want to have a second match that would be a tag match that I would also simulate. A third match being a Divas match that, again, I would simulate because it's NXT. We've still got SmackDown and Raw to go through. And then the fourth match would be the one match from NXT I would show a week. I would get to show you guys one full match of NXT a week. Now, I can still show you the fourth match, but none of the other matches that I set up are actually working. So the first two I just let go because they're, like I said before, there are so few actual people in NXT who made it into the game, at least, that are currently doing work. That it's super weird to make it because like Neville's in the game, but he's not in NXT anymore. Tyler Breeze is in the game, but he's not in NXT anymore. Kevin Owens in the game, he's not in NXT anymore. You know what I mean? So I have so little to work with. Even as far as teams go, they have the Ascension if you still count them in NXT, which they're not anymore. They don't have both of the Hype Bros. They have Simon Gotch and Aiden English, and then they have Big Cass and Enzo, and that's like all their tag teams, which kind of sucks because the tag division has a few more people than that right now. I don't know. So it's super rough. So I can simulate the fourth match for you, but I actually went out of my way. I made this third match, Alexa Bliss versus Emma, and that was supposed to be the Divas match for the week that I was going to simulate. But once I made the match, I was in the match, and then I simulated to the next match, and it just simulated Victor versus Colin Cass. It fucking Cass. So I don't know how to go about that. I guess next time I can watch the whole match. I just have to watch it here, and then that'll be it simulating, and that'll count. I don't know. I'll work on that in the future. My ultimate goal is to kind of, as people slowly get brought up into Raw and SmackDown and move up to the main card, I think I kind of want to phase NXT out, and let me know what you guys think about this. I kind of want to phase NXT out and then just make Raw and SmackDown their own separate shows again. That's a little ways in the future. We've got a ways to go. I probably wouldn't start making moves like that till after WrestleMania anyway. But as of right now, NXT and the way it's set up is really kind of a nuisance. Also, that I can't simulate matches the way I want to without having to watch the full duration of the match. Puts a damper on my recording time. It's gonna be more recording time for me. I know the first one took me almost 2 hours. Now I'm probably looking at like 2.5, 3 hours for a recording session. But I want this to be something special. I want this to be good. So I'll do what I have to. I'll figure it out on my end, but feel free to give me your input. All right, you can also ignore the rivalry match that's shown here right now. What I've got, instead I've got something else for you. I can tell you Baron Corbin versus Finn Balor's match is going to be next week, but I'll kind of explain my motives and what I'm building to once the match starts. But your match this week is going to be All right, your match this week is going to be Apollo Crews versus Samoa Joe. Both these characters are downloaded from the WWE Universe. You see any people I have that you don't, that they're probably from the WWE Universe community creations. You just check that out, you'll be able to do it. But my logic this week is that we know that Finn Balor is building to a match with Samoa Joe that he's going to have for the title soon. We also know that Apollo Crews is currently in a feud with Baron Corbin because Apollo Crews had a match with Finn Balor not too long ago for the title that Baron Corbin interrupted and screwed Apollo Crews over. So to kind of build for both these matches a little bit, kind of see what we're getting into here. We're going to do Samoa Joe versus Apollo Crews this week, and then we're going to do Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin next week, and then we just might have a title match on NXT before the Royal Rumble for Week 3. We'll have to see how it goes. I'll build to it from there. But yeah, next week your NXT match is going to be Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin. This week we get to see who's the best out of Apollo Crews and Samoa Joe. Apollo Crews picks up a win here. It kind of makes Samoa Joe look bad going into a huge title match for the NXT Championship. Apollo Crews also picks up, Apollo Crews loses here. He's definitely going to need to pick up a victory over Baron Corbin. Same thing. If Corbin happens to beat Finn Balor next week, it's going to look really good for him as far as he just beat the NXT Champion. Next week's match will be a non-title match, but really putting himself into the picture there for maybe who the #1 contender is going to be after the NXT title match happens. We'll just all have to see how it plays out, but that's kind of my logic going into this one. That's kind of where we're going from here. I will say, as far as NXT matches go, I'm going to figure out the Divas thing, of course, and I'm going to be paying attention to who wins those simulated matches, but also in the case of the matches that we watch on NXT every week, I'm always looking to bring up talent from NXT to the main roster, but somebody's got to be, you got to be on some kind of win streak. You have to have some kind of, I'm not just going to bring a guy up because I like him. I'm not going to bring a guy up. Like I said, from this point on, we're currently taking, let's just assume that all history up until this point in time in my WWE universe is from current WWE. However, from the moment TLC happened, from the moment the last Tuesday Night Thunder happened on Sunday when I uploaded it, from the moment TLC happened, my universe is going to go in its own direction. Whatever happens, happens. I can book the matches any way I want, but whoever wins is the winner, and whoever's champion is champion, and so on and so forth. So from here on out, I'm not going to pick people based on whether, I like what they're doing in current WWE. I'm not going to pick people just because I like them personally or anything like that. They're going to have to win. They're going to have to get some momentum. And if they look like they're doing a good enough job, then yeah, they might move up. They might move up to SmackDown, do some SmackDown stuff, maybe pick up a U.S. title, maybe not. I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. Move up to Raw, do Raw stuff. It's just there's all these different opportunities that I want to bring to NXT people, but I don't want to move them up too fast because then NXT won't have anybody left, And I can only download so many superstars from the WWE creations. As Apollo Crews delivers a tombstone pile driver, I'm going to have to look at his moveset and actually start commentating this match now. As he goes for a huge, double powerbomb. Going for a double powerbomb. I'm not going to lie, I haven't noticed who's winning, but this looks like Apollo Crews' signature and/or finisher combo right there. He's going to go for a pin. He did a jumping tombstone pile driver. I'm pretty sure Apollo Crews doesn't do that in the real. Samoa Joe covered. Kicking out early at 2, but he did take a lot of damage there. Between a tombstone and then a triple power bomb after that, that's going to be rough for Samoa Joe, for sure. Yeah, sorry I haven't been commentating this match. There's so much to explain with my universe and this whole new world that we're diving into, and I'm really excited for it. I'm looking forward to it. I hope we get a lot of new viewers to the channel, and I hope we just get a lot of people that are able to get sucked into this kind of thing. As the match goes to the outside, and of course Michael Cole, Jerry the King Lawler, and JBL are commentating NXT. If you can't tell by Michael Cole's stupid face, you can tell by JBL's stupid hat on the end of the table there. I'm surprised those aren't Mountain Dew containers, because they always sponsor fucking Mountain Dew and Kickstart. But Samoa Joe is now on top, and he needed this. I was explaining my universe, so I didn't see a lot of the match up until the point where Apollo Crews did a tombstone, but I know Samoa Joe took a lot of damage from the tombstone followed by the triple powerbomb. Computers in this game don't usually pin very often unless it's a signature or finisher, after a signature or finisher. Now, sometimes they'll do it once in a blue moon, maybe a little bit more often than that they'll pin, but usually they got to hit you with some kind of signature and or finisher before they'll go for the pin. And that's something I kind of just pick up on how the AI works. And considering that Apollo Crews did, in fact, pin Joe after the triple powerbomb, I'm going to assume that might be some kind of signature they put for him. People can work their asses off and make the guy look as much like Apollo Crews as they want to in community creations. They can give him a really close move set, but sometimes the game just doesn't have the moves. That being said, Apollo Crews taking Samoa Joe to the announce table. DDT? DDT Samoa Joe through the announce table. What kind of NXT match is this? Holy crap. That had to be. You have to use up a finisher slot for that. It's not looking good for Samoa Joe against Apollo Crews here. Apollo Crews goes for the roll-up. No. Oh, that's the Reigns. That's the Roman Reigns one-arm powerbomb roll-up thingy. That's super cool. I'm glad that's in here. I'm glad that's in here. Now Apollo Crews going to the top rope. I think I know what this means. I got a good look at Apollo Crews' finisher, and it is... No, that was not it. Okay. Like a diving headbutt. What's he going for now? He's setting it up. Bounced off the ropes, but Samoa Joe fired up a comeback. That appears to be one of Samoa Joe's abilities. I need to check out. You got to give me a little bit of leeway for these first couple times I see these guys. Missed. All right, missed the senton there. There's not a senton because he didn't front flip, but whatever. Just a back splash. I don't know what to call that. It's just too simple. But Apollo Crews now with a reversal. But yeah, if you see these guys do any weird moves or things, at least the first time you see them, know that I'll take care of it. But the first time you see a downloaded community-created character, I don't go in and check all of them individually when I download them. But if I see them do anything weird, I can take it off of them. So that will definitely be a thing. I'd say Apollo Crews has the edge on this match for sure, though. Samoa Joe's been ahead a little bit here and there, but Apollo has hit all the big moves. I haven't seen Joe hit too many big moves on Apollo, but Joe has taken a tombstone. He's taken a triple powerbomb. He's been DDT'd through the table. Another triple powerbomb. Oh, no. He'll pin Joe after this, and he might get it. He'll have a finisher, too, but he'll pin Joe after this one. He might get Joe for the 3 count. If he doesn't, Crews has a finisher after this. Crews has dominated this match against Samoa Joe. And that's the 3 count. Going into his next match, going to be probably a title match. Really rough. Really looking rough for Joe here. It'll be interesting to see. Interesting to see where we go from this one. But that is your 3 count. Apollo Crews takes the W there. I want to see the DDT through the table again as JBL's hat is all glitched out on the side there. Sometimes when you do moves on the table, oh, never mind, it fell off. Sometimes when you do moves on the table and JBL's hat's still there, it will fly like 80 million feet into the stands. It's hilarious. I don't know. The physics in this game are weird sometimes. They're wonky. DDT through the table made Samoa Joe's face look weird. That move missing probably was the point that Joe was super screwed. Because whatever that was, I'm sure that was some kind of signature for him. That would have been a big deal. But then another triple powerbomb. And Apollo Crews, without hitting a real finisher. He did use the finisher in the OMG moment through the table. But without hitting a real finisher, Apollo Crews takes the victory. Pretty dominant victory. He looks really strong going up against Baron Corbin next week. Yeah, that's something going into. All right. I will see you guys on SmackDown.
It's a new year, ladies and gentlemen, and I, for one, can't wait to see what the next 12 months of WWE action brings us. Here comes Jimmy.
Oh, Jimmy wants this win, and he's well on his way to getting it. Oh, my. Titus O'Neil. Well, Cole, Jimmy Uso's the son of WWE legend Rikishi. That means Uso's a member of...
And into the cover. Seems like these guys are letting out a lot of pent-up frustration tonight. He gets the tag. That's it. It's over. It's over.
There's the finishing move.
Will it be?
He's seated up. Here he comes. We've got him. They got it.
Singles action is underway, and in this
All right, and welcome to SmackDown. If I haven't shown you already, I did simulate a tag match. Like I said, if I haven't shown you already, I will show it to you later at the end of the card when I show you all the simulated matches. I'm still trying to work out the kinks for how I'm going to do this, because I would prefer if all of my shows were under an hour. And I know I went over that on TLC. I plan on doing more editing to kind of solve that problem in the future. As of right now, what you're looking at is you're looking at Neville versus Tyler Breeze with Summer Rae. Of course, she will be harassing as a manager and doing manager things whenever she can to kind of give Tyler Breeze the edge going into this. But we have 2 former NXT stars. I probably should have put The Miz out there. I know my universe kind of started after or before the whole Miz-Neville thing formed up, but I probably should have put The Miz out there with Neville. I don't know. Like I said, it's up to me on if I want to run The Miz with Neville or not as a manager to see if that gets Neville any ground. But Well, you have 2 superstars going at it. Basically, you have 2 goals if you're a superstar on SmackDown or a superstar wrestling on SmackDown. Your goals either being, currently at this point in time, subject to change at a later date, climbing the ladder, winning matches so you can be put on Raw, as Tyler Breeze does an Executioner. I don't know. You want to climb the ladder to either be put on Raw, or you want to attempt to get the U.S. title. I will explain how the whole U.S. title thing works later, because Jack Swagger actually has a U.S. title match tonight, and like I said, I'll get to that later on this evening. But those are the main 2 goals on SmackDown. You're either trying to get on Raw, or you're trying to get the U.S. title. Now, like I said, in the future, I may bump it up to after the Royal Rumble, for all I know. I really don't know how I want to break this whole thing down yet. Like I said, I may bump it up till after the Royal Rumble, because I'm having a really tough time trying to figure out simulating most of NXT, but getting my point across, and then simulating some of SmackDown, and then some of Raw, but keeping the whole thing under an hour. I don't know if I should hit you guys with a lot of highlights for the first couple matches. Like, I do have the highlights from that tag match, because in order to simulate it, I have to watch it. So I don't know if I should hit you guys with just highlights where I don't commentate on the lesser matches, and then for the more important matches, or at least the matches I want to feature that week, obviously any match involving a champion, Intercontinental Champion, U.S. Champion, World Champion, Tag Champions, whatever, title match or not, will always be shown, because they're the champions and they should get that respect. And then any other match that I want to point out for the week, or that I think will be interesting, or is my build-up match, perhaps the #1 contenders match, perhaps just 2, I don't know, just any match that I find interesting that I want to put on there will be the other matches that I will commentate. And then I think for the rest of that, I might just edit in highlights. It might just even be enough that just the end of the match, just how the match ended, and what it was, but no commentary, very short highlights, just so that way you guys can kind of see how the match went down and how it ended up. That might be the best route to go. Then again, I'm still thinking about if I join Raw and SmackDown, I'll be able to, cutting a whole show, cutting 4 matches of NXT out, will allow me a little bit more freedom in that regard. That being said, I'm gonna worry about that later. I'll figure that out. We're gonna work out these first couple weeks is gonna be us kind of working out the kinks to what's going on here. But for right now, let's actually focus on the match. Tyler Breeze taking it to Neville on the outside of the ring. I think Neville had a little bit of an advantage earlier, if I remember correctly, but Tyler Breeze has kind of been on top for the most of this one. And if you're a superstar with as Neville turns it around, of course, if you're a superstar with a manager, the thing is, like, it's rough being against a superstar with a manager, I'll say that much, because if you start out and you're winning, the manager can still equalize it. If you start out and you're even, then the other superstar has an advantage, because the manager can give them the lead if you ever do start to win. But if you start out and you're losing, if Neville were to start this match and Tyler Breeze was to be kicking his butt almost the whole time, it's really, really hard to come back, because even if you do somehow muster it, if you do somehow get the reversals and fight back and get up and start winning, then the manager is still going to screw you over when you go for the pin, most likely. As Neville moves out of the way of a leg drop, Tyler Breeze lands on his ass. Now, Neville going to the top rope. What's Neville going to do here? I don't think he has enough. No, he doesn't. He did not have enough for Red Arrow, but he went for a shooting star press. Is Tyler Breeze going for a submission here? What is this? Interesting. I don't even know what to call that. It's a sharpshooter, but your leg isn't through the middle. It's almost like a standing figure 4, but shittier, because he could just pop his leg out on the bottom. I don't know. Neville doesn't submit. Probably not enough damage. Nearly enough damage done to his legs. Tyler Breeze going to go for the pin here, though. That looked like it might have been a Tyler Breeze signature maneuver as Neville kicks out at 1. I did not see enough Tyler Breeze in NXT to know what it was. I only recently caught up on NXT myself as to what's going on in there currently. Neville getting reversed here. Tyler Breeze going for a CDT. Definitely match right now, just from what I've seen so far, match right now favoring Tyler Breeze heavily. If Neville gets out of this, and if Neville fights back and gets a signature finisher and pins Tyler Breeze on the opposite end of the ring that Summer Rae's on, and the ref's not over there, like all these stars have to align, then Neville's got a shot. But as of right now, I would say Neville is probably more hurt than Tyler Breeze is, and even on top of that, Tyler Breeze has the manager, which is a huge deal. And it's random, because if the referee's over there, the manager can do a lot. If you ever walk by the manager can influence the match a lot. Turn it around completely even. But if you're never over there, then it might never happen. However, look at that. Neville hits a good move. I thought he might go for a cover afterwards. Summer Rae with the distraction, and now Tyler Breeze is back on top. That manager is a hard one to get over. We'll have to see. This might be a rivalry that continues to build. I don't know. I can do whatever I want. I'm still getting over that. Tyler Breeze, that a huge super kick coming out of Tyler Breeze.
That can't be enough, can it? I don't think so.
Neville kicks out 2.5. 2.5 count. Neville kicks out. Tyler Breeze can't believe it. I think in this game, Tyler Breeze's finisher is still the spinning heel kick. I'll have to change that to the unprettier. I don't know why they switched him out of the spinning heel kick to the unprettier. Nobody else is doing a spinning heel kick right now. But we'll have to give him the unprettier. Red arrow halfway across the ring, and Neville's got the pin. Summer's not doing anything to stop it. Tyler Breeze with a late kick out. Neville's going to have to work to another signature or finisher to take out Tyler Breeze. Summer Rae must not have been close enough to the ref to stop what was going on there. Neville could have ended it right there. I love the knee DDT, especially because Neville's short. That works so well. It looks so good. But no, my goal for these shows is to keep the whole thing under an hour, so I'm probably going to... I'm going to try to trim and cut it to where they're under an hour. I wanted pay-per-views to be more special, like maybe have an extra match on them or something, but trying to fit NXT and SmackDown and Raw all together, I'm probably going to do 7 matches per episode. And then there's 7 matches on the pay-per-view, of course, that we'll see all of. And then, like I said, just highlights from the other matches as we go on. Just really, really short, slim highlights just so you know what happened and how it ended and things like that.
If you thought Monday Night Raw was exciting last night, just wait.
We got Tyler Breeze working his way up out of this hold, though. And there's a spinning heel kick. That's probably it. That's probably it. I think Neville's done. That is the 3 count. Tyler Breeze takes the victory over Neville. Now, had Summer Rae not landed the distraction off of Neville's signature, would the match have gone differently? Would Neville have had an extra reversal slot to use on the spinning heel kick or on another move Tyler Breeze does? I don't know. Hard to tell. Hard to tell how that match goes. This might go into something else. Maybe Neville wants a rematch next week. Maybe they move on and go do their own things. It's hard to say. But Neville takes the loss today. Tyler Breeze takes a good victory over Neville. Summer Rae, regardless or not. I hate this camera angle because they always put the sign up in front of the action during that camera angle. I don't know what that's about. But yeah, there's the Summer Rae interference. Getting Neville distracted. Tyler Breeze coming up and getting ahead there with that one, and then rolling his way into a signature and then a spinning heel kick. There's the super kick, yeah, and it went from there. It went from there. Neville, there we go. I just want to see the spinning heel kick. I don't know why. Tyler Breeze taking a victory there, though.
The available air from their body. Making a statement here.
Going for the cover. And it's up. He got the shoulder up.
Eric Rowan refuses to stay down. He's showing no signs of letting up. We might be seeing the beginning of the end.
Oh, Draven. There it is.
Yeah, if that doesn't end this match, I don't know what will. You got it, Draven.
We've talked before, ladies and gentlemen. He goes for the quick pin attempt.
Count, right?
And he escapes with a kick out.
Is there no stopping Eric Rowan?
He's setting it up.
Are we going to see it?
Oh, Draven. There it is.
Yeah, if that doesn't end this match, I don't know what will. You got it, Draven.
1, 2, 3. He did it. What a huge win.
Boots, punches, knee in the ropes, and that may have been the only escape.
And he escapes with a kick out.
He's showing the heart of a warrior here tonight. And there's the submission hold. Will this do it? He's in perfect position. Complete control. I don't believe the destruction we're seeing. This guy's just going from one painful move to another.
Will this be it?
I think he's got it.
Man, that got him good. He landed a perfectly placed strike. That'll send him.
There it is. What a crafty maneuver.
We got a cover.
2, 3. What a win. Man, he's got to feel great.
Okay, so it was a hell of a SmackDown, and by that I mean I went through hell for SmackDown. It was just a lot of thinking, a lot of tweaking, a lot of what am I going to do this week, what am I going to do next week. But no, I simulated these matches, so I probably threw the highlights in there. I think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to simulate the matches with the momentum on fast, just so that way the match ends as quick as possible, but you guys still get to see parts of it, and I still get the right matches in for you guys. I think that's my situation and my solution for the future. It's a whole lot more time spent recording and editing on my part, but it gets across the image and point that I wanted to get across. I get to do the matches that I want to, even if they're just being simulated for you guys, and they're just being highlights, really. But Usos versus Titus O'Neil and Darren Young. Usos, after losing that triple threat tag match, they weren't the champions before, and they lost during the match. They're I felt like they needed to work their way back up if they wanted to be in the title picture, and they actually lost to Titus O'Neil and Darren Young. We'll have to see where the tag division, at least as far as SmackDown's concerned, goes for me. We do have Raw coming up this week, where we get another good look at tag teams to move on from there. Brie Bella versus Naomi. This is one that the game just set up, so I just said, you know what, go with it. That's fine with me. Let Brie Bella wrestle Naomi, and Naomi picks up the victory there, probably with the rear view. I don't know. That was one that I didn't actually have to watch. I just simulated. By the way, Titus and Darren won with a double team tag maneuver for the finish, which, like I said, you guys probably saw in the highlight. Tyler Breeze and Summer Rae versus Neville. You guys saw that match. Tommy Dreamer versus Eric Rowan is kind of a little redemption match after the TLC pay-per-view. Nobody was out there on Eric Rowan's side. Nobody was out there on Tommy Dreamer's side. Tommy Dreamer picking up the victory over Eric Rowan there. It's a little bit of revenge for Team ECW. Also coming up on Raw soon, we do have Rhino versus Braun Strowman in a tables match. That'll be a little bit more going on there this week. Moving on from that, we had Tyson Kidd and Bad News Barrett in the worst match of all time. I'm only going to show you guys the finish for the love of God. Tyson Kidd put Bad News Barrett in about 13 different variations of the sharpshooter and different sharpshooter submission holds and like his own variation of it and all this god-awful. We haven't seen Tyson in a while. I felt like it was a good time for him to make a comeback, by the way. But then Bad News Barrett just got up and black hole slammed him and it was over. Like Tyson and Barrett, they kind of went back and forth, but Tyson was mainly winning. He just couldn't get Barrett to tap out, and then all of a sudden Barrett stands up, black hole slams Tyson. It's over. Awful match. I put the momentum on fast. It was at least a 10-minute match, probably closer to 15. It was awful. Ignore the 6th match here. That's going to be changed. Cesaro's still out. Cesaro shouldn't even be showing up on SmackDown. Cesaro is injured at this point in time, and we don't know when he will make a return. But for this last match, here we go. And this match is a title match for the United States Championship. Swagger versus Del Rio is going to be your main event here at SmackDown. I might change the main events. I might make the U.S. title more of a mid to top card match. I know it's the main event here. Sometimes the order isn't going to make sense, at least this week. Like I said, I'm slowly figuring out what I need to do in order to put these matches in the right place. Put NXT and SmackDown and Raw. Put all the matches in the right place. All the pieces together. These first couple weeks is going to be working at the kinks, but this is going to develop into something really... I'm going to get this to where I can do it smoothly and awesomely and the way to go. But one good thing did come out of John Cena. I know John Cena is currently out with an injury right now, but one good thing did come out of John Cena holding the title, and I think this should be a permanent thing for the U.S. title, so that's what I'm going to do with it. The U.S. title will now be defended every single week, no matter what. So if Alberto Del Rio was going to get a rematch clause in before Jack Swagger had a chance to lose the title, it was going to have to be right now. That being said, Alberto Del Rio wanted a straight-up normals match. He thought that the chairs completely ruined it and gave Jack Swagger an edge he didn't need. This is a straight-up one-on-one match for the U.S. title going on this week. And every single week on SmackDown during Tuesday Night Thunder, the U.S. title will be defended, could be lost, could be won. And unlike when John Cena had it, there's an actual chance of the title changing hands at any given moment. Now, I know Cena lost it to Alberto Del Rio, but for the love of God, how many matches did he have where he didn't lose it? So yeah, U.S. Open Challenge every single week. And outside of rematch clauses, in this case where Alberto Del Rio wins it, the opponent could be anybody. Could be somebody from Raw, obviously somebody from SmackDown. Might even bring somebody up from NXT out of nowhere, just like Kevin Owens did. We'll have to see how it goes in the future. But yeah, guys who are winning a lot on SmackDown have the potential to get up there. Assuming that they don't move on to Raw. Guys doing okay on Raw are doing not World Championship good, but maybe they are good enough for an Intercontinental title, but they're not necessarily in the Intercontinental title picture. Have an opportunity to come out for the U.S. Open Challenge. So yeah, this U.S. Weekly Open Challenge. I figured that was going to be a way to keep SmackDown interesting, keep SmackDown rolling, and it puts... There's a title. There's going to be a title match every single week. No matter what, every Tuesday Night Thunder, there will be some kind of title defense, at least in the U.S. Open Challenge. So I figured it'd be something to look forward to. That being said, Alberto Del Rio was on top before. Looks like Swagger's finally getting his groove back now.
Jack Swagger taking advantage right now.
Jack Swagger going to work on that leg. If you guys remember in the TLC match, how Swagger actually won was his signature shot, which is just a chop to the leg. He just runs forward straight on his opponent, and he just chops their leg. So the more damage Swagger does to the leg here, the more likely the odds of him chopping that leg again and getting the pin with the signature are working out. Now, we have yet to see his actual submission in Tuesday Night Thunder so far. It just hasn't happened yet. It didn't happen in the simulated matches. It didn't happen in any matches. Even when Tyson Kidd put Wade Barrett in like 50 fucking... you guys didn't get to see it, but 50 sharpshooters, I swear to God. Wade Barrett never tapped out. We have yet to see a submission. But I think if anybody was going to do it, besides maybe Alberto Del Rio, because his cross-arm breaker is amazing, I think it would be Jack Swagger, because Jack Swagger's moveset is actually really, really, really good. Like, I think if you were, and I might be wrong on this, I don't play as normal superstars a lot, but if you play as superstars regularly, just kind of goofing around, I think Jack Swagger might, like, low-key be, like, secret overpowered, because a lot of his moves in his moveset are designed to hurt the leg, and then on top of that, his signature and finisher go together really, really well. So his signature is a cross chop at the leg. And then if they kick out from that, like, that's going to do damage to the leg. You know what I mean? 2, 3, 4 of those alone without any other moves to the leg is going to make their leg yellow or orange or even red after so long. So not only does he naturally do, as a backstabber comes out from Alberto Del Rio. Is he going to get the victory here? I did not change his moveset. Swagger grabs onto the ropes. The referee does see it. If they grab onto the ropes, there's a decent possibility the referee will miss it, so you take a risk grabbing the ropes. Referee sees that one. Swagger gets out at the count of 1. And I did not change Alberto Del Rio's moveset. He does still have the backstabber as his signature and finisher, but his cross-arm breaker is also another finisher. So we'll see what he does here. Belly to belly. But no, like I was saying about Swagger before, he can chop the leg, but then his finisher after that is the Patriot Lock. So his moves are all designed to hurt the leg, and then his finisher is a submission designed to make you tap out while doing an ankle lock. So his moveset works really, really well together. And I think that makes Swagger overall a really good character, really good wrestler in this game. But we'll see if Alberto Del Rio gets his title back this week. We're going to be seeing the same match again next week in another U.S. Open match, because again, the only time to get your rematch clause in is that very next week. If they don't get their rematch clause in the next week, then it doesn't happen.
Championship on the level at any level, but especially at an NCAA Division I school.
Yeah, you're right, Cole. Swagger started wrestling when he was Jack Swagger. What a crafty maneuver.
Swagger landing a huge powerbomb there. Alberto Del Rio laying flat. I don't know about it in this game, but I know in old WWE games, if a superstar laid completely flat, they were ready to be pinned. I had to see if Alberto Del Rio was going to kick out there or not. But when a superstar laid completely flat, they were ready to be pinned. You could pin him, and usually you would get a 3 count, whether you just hit a signature, finisher, or just a regular move. I don't know if it's the same in this game, but Alberto Del Rio definitely flattened out there. Definitely really knocked out by that huge powerbomb Swagger did. So we'll see where Swagger goes from there. That might be another Swagger signature that I don't know about, as we get a couple knees to the head of Alberto Del Rio here. Another backstabber? No. Thought he was gearing up for a backstabber. He's just a back suplex. Very, very close now. I would say almost... I would almost go as far as to say the next person to hit a big move wins. If a submission gets locked in, submissions are always iffy. But if we see perhaps Swagger cutting the knee again, or if we see Alberto Del Rio do a backstabber, that might just be the end of the match right there, as we're going to see Alberto Del Rio a big German suplex out of the corner there. Swagger's beat up now. Is he going for another cover? No, he's going to the top rope. What's Alberto Del Rio going to do from the top rope? A 450 splash from Alberto Del Rio. I got to check these movesets, people. These custom superstars are getting out of control as Swagger gets pinned. A dirty pin from Del Rio. And Swagger still kicks out. A 450 splash from the top rope. A dirty pin. A dirty leverage pin from Alberto Del Rio. Referee didn't see it. Swagger somehow muscles his way out of that one. I actually thought that was going to put Swagger away. Signature finisher or not, you get hit with a 450 from the top rope. And a leverage pin at that when Swagger's this hurt. I don't know how much Swagger has left, but it was impressive to see him kick out of that one nonetheless as they work their way up the ramp here. Alberto Del Rio doing a ton as Swagger rolls into the ring. Swagger gets a free shot off on Del Rio. He chooses to Irish whip him into the corner. Let's see where he goes from here. Turns him around. Gives him a kidney shot. Gives him a second kidney shot. Into his own German suplex. Alberto Del Rio just did this a minute ago. He might be good enough to pin from there. Maybe not. Alberto Del Rio flattened earlier. Made me think he was just about done. We'll have to see. Oh, and there it is. There's the chop. There's the heat. All right, here we go. Is this going to be it? Alberto Del Rio kicks out. He's not done yet, but now we know Swagger has a finisher. The move that put him down last week, Alberto Del Rio kicks out of the low chop there. I don't know what to call that. The cut to the legs. Shoulder tackle to the leg. I know I'm fucking up these small, like, stupid to remember names that nobody ever does these moves, but Swagger putting Del Rio down. Is he going to do it? He's gearing up for something. Are we going to see a Patriot lock here? No, Swagger bomb. Okay. The cover here. I got to say, Alberto Del Rio's probably done. Maybe he had to get drugged. He got drugged. Alberto Del Rio might kick out. Alberto Del Rio fighting out. Holy crap, I didn't think he had it in him. Taking a chop, taking the bomb. I think Jack Swagger probably would have been better off going for a Patriot lock there. Then again, hindsight's 20/20. If he looked like he was really close to not kicking out of that one, so it's hard to say at this point. But huge kick out for Alberto Del Rio. This match is something else. This match is escalating quite a bit. Swagger's staying on top of him, though, and he needs to. Swagger needs to work his way back up. I guess the next person to get a signature, I'm willing to bet, will probably win this one. They both had super huge hits, super huge near victories, near falls to win this match, but then they both managed to will themselves out of it at the last second. Swagger's completely out of stamina, though. He's got to work on something. I would taunt here. I would taunt and wait for Alberto Del Rio to get up, but then again, the AI plays it pretty different. Alberto Del Rio back on top. He might have a backstabber stored up now. Like, Jack Swagger could be hit at any moment with this.
Take too many of those and expect to be in the match much longer.
Alberto Del Rio calling for something here. What's he got? Here he goes. Cross arm breaker. Is Swagger going to tap? Cross arm breaker. He's not out of it yet. That's not a good sign. The longer they're in it, the more likely he's... Okay, Alberto, he gets out of it. He's had a few moves done to his arm. I'm going to guess his arm is at least in the yellow at this point. Tapping was a very real thing. The longer they're in the move, the more likely they are to tap to it. Swagger being smart here, getting back on top, putting Alberto Del Rio in a work hold as long as he can keep him in it. Working Alberto Del Rio's stamina down, getting his own stamina back up is very smart. I know he was nearly out, and I'm sure he burned a lot trying to get away from that submission. This is probably going to leave Alberto Del Rio completely gassed, too. With Swagger full on stamina. Going to give him a decent advantage here. It all depends. Whoever hits the next big move, man, I swear. Unless it's a submission, because those are always iffy. Those can always go either way. But unless it's a submission, first person at the next big move. I'm going to guess either a backstabber or a chop to the knee is going to win this one. Swagger with a reversal. Looks like he punched him in the dick, but I guess he just hit him in the lower abdomen area because the ref didn't call it. Del Rio with a reversal. Irish whipping Swagger back into the corner again, and we're going to see another German here. We're going to... No. Taking him to the very top. A back superplex could end this one, but Swagger reverses. Swagger on the top rope now. Looks like a diving spear, diving clothesline perhaps. A leg drop out of Swagger. What's he got? Stomping the hell out of Del Rio. Swagger's going for the victory. Swagger's gunning for it right here. Here we go. Is he going to pick him up? Is he going to chop him here? Is he going to go for the chop? No, Irish whipping Del Rio into the corner. We're going to see another German here. No, flipping him around. Swagger got something special in mind. Oh, the Swagger splash. Here we go. I know it's not called that. That could put him away right there. I think that's it. Pin him, Swagger. Pin him, Jack. And that is the 3 count. Swagger retains his title. And Alberto Del Rio's rematch clause for the U.S. Championship is gone. That match was actually really hype. Went on longer than I thought it would, but... Huge battle. A lot of huge kickouts. Both men looking very good there. But Swagger retains the championship. Swagger is the U.S. champion. But what is he going to do? Like, damn. And he's got to defend it weekly. That's the thing. Swagger's got to be right back out here next week defending his U.S. title. A pay-per-view will come around. Swagger will have to defend his title at pay-per-view. Like, it's something else.
It's got to be hard to rebound from that one.
Oh, man. How do you stand after an attack like this? Luke Harper shows us some clever offense here. Harper just can...
Shoulders down. Is it enough?
This may be it.
And here comes Luke Harper. That's got to be it. Luke Harper. How about that finishing move? His shoulders are down. 2, 3. He did it. What a huge win.
Okay, so for our first match, I went ahead and simulated it. We had Dolph Ziggler versus Luke Harper. Eric Rowan had a match on SmackDown. Luke Harper's having a match on Raw. It was actually, I swear I put the momentum on fast, but it was actually one of the longest matches I've ever sat through in my entire life. A lot of back and forth, a lot of good kickouts, a lot of big moves, a lot of kickouts that happened when I didn't think they would happen. I know Luke Harper kicked out of a super kick and a zigzag, which I thought was absolutely incredible. Dolph did his signature a lot of times. Luke did his signature a lot of times. We had a suicide dive from Luke. I'm sure I've shown you guys the highlights and everything like that at this point, but yeah, Luke Harper picking up the victory there. Very close match, very well-fought battle, and a little victory for the Wyatt family after Eric Rowan's loss to Tommy Dreamer. Anyways, moving on from that, the next match we have is actually kind of a big deal. And our next match is going to be a rematch for the Tag Team Champions. For some horrible, awful reason, 2-on-2 Tornado Tag Ladders matches do not exist in this game. I have no idea why. I can't remember a game that didn't have it. So we're having a 2-on-2 cage match instead. New Day wanted their rematch. They wanted it right away, and they said, you know what? We don't need Xavier anywhere near this. In fact, they're going to have a cage match for their rematch. Like we said, the Usos cut out of it because it was a triple threat tag match in TLC that consisted of the Lucha Dragons, New Day, who were the champions at the time, and the Usos, but the Lucha Dragons were able to win the titles there. Kalisto ended up going up and grabbing the titles down. As Big E tries to climb out now, if Big E gets out here, here's the thing, if Sin Cara lets Big E climb there and doesn't stop him, it turns into a 2-on-1. It turns into 2-on-1 with Kofi in the ring. I don't know if they still have pins on in cage matches. I guess we'll find out. Maybe we will, maybe we won't. Or if it's escape only as far as 2-on-2s are concerned. But the thing that makes tag matches so tricky is the first team to have a member escape isn't necessarily a good idea. If Big E escapes first, or if Kofi, let's just say if Big E escapes first, he leaves Kofi in there alone with both Sin Cara and Kalisto at the same time. And that could be really, really bad for Kofi. That means that, if Sin Cara and Kalisto both beat the crap out of Kofi, both hit their finishers on Kofi, and then both just climb out, then we've got quite the predicament, and Big E ended up screwing his team by leaving the cage early. So this is as much of a mind game as it is the actual wrestling itself. As Big E goes to climb out again, Kofi from the top rope, huge leg drop onto Kalisto. Sin Cara is going to stop Big E, but is anybody there to stop Kofi? Kalisto just took a leg drop. He's laying flat. Kofi could get out here, which, like I said, could be bad for the New Day. Kofi made it out, so now we have a 2-on-1. All Big E has to do is escape the cage. If Big E escapes, New Day win easy peasy. However, this 2-on-1 that we have here is going to make it very hard for Big E to escape the cage. Very much of a mind game. This is the closest thing to a ladder match. If it wasn't this, it would have been a Hell in a Cell. I thought Hell in a Cell might be too big a deal for that, for what we got here. So this is indeed the rematch that we have going on between the Lucha Dragons and the New Day. Huge backflip out of Kalisto there. It's actually an incredible just standing moonsault. Is Sin Cara, now the thing that could even this fight out, if Sin Cara chooses to climb the ladder like now, and he's watching his teammate get beat up and he's not doing anything about it, but if Sin Cara chooses to climb out while Big E is busy beating up Kalisto, or Kalisto's beating up Big E, then we could end up with a 1-on-1, and that would kind of even the odds out a little bit again. But here we have Big E going to escape. Sin Cara watching him escape. Never mind, Sin Cara is going to be there. A little bit of damage control, pulling Big E back down to size. Sin Cara going to the top. We're going to see a senton. Does he have a senton? No, he doesn't. He misses a splash. Kalisto on the second rope decides to get down. Is he going to help Sin Cara? Sin Cara doesn't need help. He throws a huge reversal on Big E. They both turn around to climb. Big E can't stop them both. And like I said before, that might be a good thing for Big E. He pulls Sin Cara back in. He runs over to Kalisto. Kalisto's made it out. And now we have a 1-on-1 match between Big E Langston and Sin Cara for the Tag Team Championship. Big E watching Kalisto escape as Sin Cara comes up behind him. Hits a Hurricane Rana on him there. We'll see if Sin Cara can keep Big E down long enough. Sin Cara now going to go for an escape. Big E's getting right up, though. I don't think Sin Cara is getting out just yet. I don't know. It's getting close. It's getting close. He's right there. He's right there. He was making his move to go to the very top. Big E barely stopped Sin Cara. You can escape the cage so fast in this game. I did not expect that. Maybe it depends on your size. Maybe it depends on your height and weight. Big E choosing to bounce off the rope and go for a shot there. I thought maybe he was going to climb. Sin Cara looked like he was down and out. Sin Cara fighting back into it. Sin Cara and Big E fighting for the tag team titles. Who would have thought?
Yeah, Michael. Big E's debut sent shockwaves throughout sports entertainment.
Big E with a reversal. Sin Cara with a reversal. I have no idea why the announcers are talking about John Cena right now. This is a steel cage tag team match, and for some reason, somehow, Jerry Lawler found out how to talk about John Cena, who is injured right now, for the love of God. A lot of back and forth going on here. The only question is when's the big ending going to come out? When's the senton going to come out? I feel like whatever big move gets hit, I feel like it's easier to escape the cage in these matches just from what I've seen so far. Holy crap! Sin Cara angle slams Big E Langston. How did he do it? How did he lift Big E? He's going to crawl right out of here. Big E's trying to get to his feet, but it's too late. The Lucha Dragons retain the championships because somehow Sin Cara managed to muster enough strength to angle slam Big E Langston. What in the world kind of inning was that? And the New Day loses another crazy match under crazy circumstances. Some people might be thinking the New Day had been screwed out of their title. They were in a really wonky 6-man title match for the tag champions initially. And then after that, they had a really wonky cage match that worked super weird in tag team matches. This might be the end of the New Day's title reign. They might get one more shot. We'll have to see. A good win for the Lucha Dragons as they take the W here, and they are the tag team champions. New Day without a rematch clause, but like I said, that might not be the end of their title attempts to get the tag team champions back. My God, both their losses were iffy, but the Lucha Dragons were just able to clutch it super hard in both situations. Sin Cara really pulling out the victory there. Kalisto apparently nowhere to be found. All right, and this next match we have for you guys is the Divas rematch. That's right, Charlotte wanted to initiate her rematch clause immediately, much like Alberto Del Rio had to, much like the New Day wanted to immediately, but Charlotte wanted a special stipulation, and due to Ric Flair and some special pulls, Ric Flair has been banned from ringside due to some cheese tactics by Charlotte lately, some tactics that may not have been the most clean things you've ever seen in the world. Charlotte has been a pretty dirty player in the game. She's been taking a lot of tips and tricks from her old man. So her old man has been banned from ringside, but in exchange for her old man being banned at ringside, this match is actually a submission match. The only way to end this match is for somebody to tap out, for somebody to submit, and this match is for the Divas Championship. Now, if Charlotte loses this, her rematch clause will be gone. If Paige loses this, she will get the opportunity to rematch in the future. But it's going to be very interesting because I'm not even sure what part of the body Paige's PTO has. I'm assuming this match will end with either a figure 4 leg lock, which like I said, there's no figure 8 in this game, so Charlotte does a figure 4, or a PTO, a Paige tap out. And I'm curious as to what part of the body they choose to make the Paige tap out injure, because she's holding the arms, she's got the legs crossed and picked up, and then she's holding them and it's bending their back. So I mean, they could theoretically put it on and get away with putting on either the back or the leg. So it'll be interesting. I feel like Paige is going to have a better chance of making Charlotte tap out if it's the midsection rather than the legs, but we'll have to see. And then obviously the figure 4 is going to be a leg lock. But this match, I'm also curious to test WWE's new submission rules. So I guess before the recent patch that came out, submission matches between two AI in WWE would take forever. They would like never end because not a lot of people, not every wrestler on the roster does a submission move as their signature or finisher. And the AI would never know that they needed to do a submission move to end the match. So the matches could go on for like upwards of an hour, just waiting for one of the AI to put on a submission lock that could actually make the other person tap out, especially if neither of them were submission experts. But apparently that was fixed. Apparently that was addressed. I'm assuming after 5 or 10 minutes, maybe they're going to start going for submissions after finishers and things like that. I'm not sure. We'll have to see how it plays out here. But a lot of back and forth here. Paige was ahead in the beginning. Charlotte looks like she's tooling up on Paige right now. Again, you're going to want to look more on the times that you see Charlotte focus the legs, because that's going to be Charlotte's go-to, whereas Paige is going to have the advantage for every time she throws a kick to the midsection. I think it might be the legs. I would say Paige is at a disadvantage in this match if the PTO works on the legs, which I don't think it does. I'm assuming it works on the back, but Paige might actually have a slight advantage if it works on the back, just because more moves tend to just go for the midsection, you know what I mean? Not a lot of, like, unless you go out of your way to do it, not a lot of moves will just end up hurting somebody's legs, and that's where Charlotte's going to have, just due to game mechanics, that's where Charlotte's going to have a disadvantage. As she gorilla press, no, never mind. I was going to say, she gorilla press slams Paige, but
Well, between the Paige Turner and the PTO
Charlotte has been putting work on Paige on the outside of the ring, now laying a power bomb to her. They gave Charlotte such manly moves. At least the people who created her. She isn't in the game. It had to be a WWE download. And I know why they gave her huge moves, because Charlotte's like a manly chick, but she doesn't really do a lot of these throws and things like that in actual wrestling. That being said, Paige finally getting a reversal. I would say Paige is definitely more beat up in this match than Charlotte, just what I've seen. Charlotte has been... She worked on Paige in the ring for a little bit. She threw her to the outside of the ring. She's been beating her up for a while. Now Paige is finally on top. It'll be interesting to see once finishers and signatures start coming into play where this match goes. But the match, I don't believe it can end on the outside of the ring. There we go. Charlotte's getting Paige back inside now. I think signature or submission or whatever on the outside, I do not believe anybody can tap out on the outside and have it count.
The back is the largest area on the human body and thus always a target.
I know what you mean. You know I've got a weak back.
How long did you have that?
Well, about a week back. Oh, this isn't good.
Here we go. The first submission attempt in this match so far. Charlotte got it first. She's going for the figure 4 leg lock. Paige is locked into it. She hasn't kicked out yet. The longer she's in it, number one, the more her legs take damage and get hurt. And then number two, the more likely she is to tap out. Because the longer you're in that, the more back and forth it is. But then the more, at any moment, you could be completely screwed up. Now, this is really bad for Paige as Charlotte puts in another submission lock on Paige's leg right after the figure 4. I doubt if she didn't tap to the figure 4, she's probably not going to tap to that. However, that is really going to soften Paige up for the next figure 4 that happens. The more that stuff like that happens, the more it gets in there, the more dangerous of a position Paige is in. That being said, Paige now, somebody else was doing that move earlier, and I told him it was awful. And I mean, oh no, that almost looks like a Texas cloverleaf at that point. Super strange for Paige to be doing that. But let's hope that works the back for Paige's sake. Let's hope that works the back and not the legs, because if it works the back, hopefully it'll go with the Paige tap out, the PTO a little bit better. Being said, I don't think I've seen a signature out of Paige yet. See if she hits the Paige turner and then goes for the Paige tap out afterwards. Charlotte getting back on top real quick though. Charlotte has been dominating this match, and she puts another submission on Paige. Charlotte's definitely the one going for the win here. Paige has only done a submission or so. I think this is Charlotte's like 4th or 5th attempt at a submission during this match. I doubt Paige will give up here, but she's still in the move. Is Paige going to tap out here? No, okay. She was in that move for a really long time, even if she wasn't necessarily close to tapping out at any point in time, because we can't see the meter. We can't see them fighting. We don't know if she's going to tap out or when she's going to tap out. But even if she wasn't close to tapping out at any point in time during that little skirmish, she's taking damage the whole time. Every second, every time that tick, she's taking more and more damage. Big double axe handle from the top rope there, though. See if Paige is gearing up for something. Looks like she might be saving up to use a signature or finisher here. Getting her stamina back. She might be throwing a taunt out now. That's what it looked like she was doing. Going for the Rampage. All right, interesting choice. Interesting choice for the Rampage there when we know the Paige tap out is one of her finishers. But going straight from the Rampage, a side chin lock there. It's almost like a crossface in a way. Camel clutch even. That was it. Paige did it with the side with the one-legged camel clutch there. I think that's a variation of camel clutch. I did not expect it to end right there. Opting, instead of going for the Paige tap out, goes for the Rampage to damage Charlotte's head. Then immediately follows with a submission that damages Charlotte's head. Did not see that coming. Did not expect that. Paige surviving a figure 4. Paige surviving several submissions. She was in one of them for an extremely long amount of time. Paige retaining the Divas Championship, though. I want to remind you guys, Paige and Charlotte's overalls are completely even in this game. At least the downloaded Charlotte that I got. Their overalls are completely even in this game. They're dead. They're squared away. Paige still the Divas Champion, though. I think I forgot to make the match for the Divas Championship, but we all know what happened, so. And it doesn't matter anyway because she retained it. All right, moving on to the main event of this evening. Okay, so I forgot. This is not the main event of the evening. In fact, you guys are getting one extra match than I planned on doing tonight. But I totally forgot about the Braun Strowman versus Rhino tables match that I promised you guys at TLC until it hit me right before the main event. I was like, oh yeah, I got to do this too. So here we have Braun Strowman versus Rhino tables match, consolation match. since the ECW pay-per-view, ECW Wyatt Family TLC match couldn't go off quite like it was supposed to in WWE. This is kind of me making up for it. So we're seeing every member of the Wyatt family in action this week except for Bray Wyatt, and their current record right now is 1-1, as Braun Strowman almost goes through a table off a backdrop by Rhino right there. Strowman was right next to that table, and the dude weighs so much, I'm surprised he didn't break it through that. The match could have ended right there. For the love of God, that was close. Strowman back on top. Every hit he does is so hard. Rhino is definitely a geared up and ready to go wrestler. He's somebody who I think the WWE hasn't quite utilized yet. I mean, they're putting over the Wyatts, and I know it's the old guys putting over the new guys and stuff like that. But Rhino is somebody who I really think could make at least one more really good run in the WWE personally. I feel like he could be that guy to get the hype behind him. I don't know why they started him out in NXT and not throwing him up to Raw right away. He could have brought a lot of hype then, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes, though. But as of tonight, Rhino's got a lot to prove. Braun Strowman has a flawless record. Hasn't lost. Hasn't really been in a lot of matches, though, all things considered. Oh, into the stairs. But Strowman could suffer his first loss here in a tables match to Rhino. How huge would that be? I feel like that would put Rhino over quite a bit. Obviously, Strowman's still going to be a giant threat to anybody he wants to take on, but it's something else. It's something else. Rhino picking up the table first, using it as a weapon. This is obviously a no disqualification match. If they want to go underneath the ring, they can get more things than just tables in the future, but Rhino going to slide a table into the ring. I do not believe the announcer's table counts as an actual table to go through in a tables match, so if somebody does go through that, I don't think the bell will ring. I just think it'll be a lot of damage on whoever takes the move there. Look at how huge Strowman is. He makes Rhino look tiny, and Rhino is a giant guy. Rhino might not be the tallest guy, but he is so stacked. And Strowman is just enormous compared to him. Again, in case you're curious, Rhino and Braun Strowman are both WWE community creations. Other people made them. You can download them for yourself. Jesus, look at the strength. Like, he makes Rhino look so small.
My God, his body's been through hell.
And I would say for the most part, Strowman's been kind of, not necessarily dominating, but Strowman's definitely had the edge. Seems like anytime Rhino tries to get something going, he did get a table shot or two off, but it's just Strowman will just do stuff like that. Just throws him up on the table right away. I don't believe Strowman can go to the top rope, so I don't know what he's going to do after he gets Rhino on the table. It might take a finisher, or he might have to break Rhino through a table by other means. Oh, the table almost flew out of the ring, but it looked like it might break there. Strowman could just fly into it. He's such a big guy. It's like no table is safe. Rhino looked like he tried to get out of the ring, but couldn't. Turned around, throws a right. Strowman, oh my God, he could have power slammed him through the table. Like, it's so iffy. These table matches can end on a dime. Rhino picks up Braun Strowman. That was a huge feat of strength there for Rhino. Bubba Bomb coming out of Strowman. Strowman's probably going to head for the table now. There's two of them out there. No, is he going to go for a weapon? No, is he going to get back in the ring? Is he trying to get the table? He does pick up the table. Back into the ring. I don't believe this match has to end in the ring. I think if the table breaks on the outside of the ring, it still works. Rhino picking up Strowman. Very back and forth battle. Right hand to a drop kick. A running drop kick by Rhino. He knocks the big man over again. Rolling Strowman. Strowman's on the table, though. I don't know how Rhino's going to get it out from underneath him.
He wants this battle decided inside the ring.
And that's why he's such a great athlete, such an important superstar. Going for broke.
Belly to belly on the big man. God, something else. Just seeing how huge he is. I don't know. Braun Strowman is one of those guys I want to see in person, just that way I can actually be like, yeah, he's really that big. Or he even looks bigger. Because if you ever met like big, or if you've ever seen like big guys like that in real life, like Big Show, or if you ever got to see like Andre or something, if you're that old, seeing giants like that in real life, you're just like, oh, holy shit. 7'2" was really tall, and I don't know. Gore. No, reversed. Looked like Rhino gunning for a Gore. Strowman reversed it into a DDT. Strowman's got to have a lot of momentum behind now as he throws down a big boot. Strowman gearing up for something big here. He finally got Rhino back in the ring. They battled on the outside for so long. Rhino's taking a lot of damage. This isn't going to be good. I don't even know what the name of his move is, but that's Strowman's big move that he does. It isn't the choke out. Now, he should be going for the table here, though I have seen the computers. Looks like Rhino was kind of glitching earlier going for the table. Like, he can't quite, because it's half in the ring, half out. So the AI can't quite pick up where the table is, making sure that this match is probably going to go on much longer than needed to and be awful. Strowman finally able to pick up a table. They finally figured out how to get the table out from over there, and Strowman is going to town on Rhino, setting the table up in the corner. This could be the answer to getting Rhino through a table. Here we go. Huge Irish whip. Rhino stuck on the table. And a spear through the table. Braun Strowman wins this match. Huge spear. There was the gore reversal, and then we got Rhino right there in the table, and a huge, just driving the man through a table on the edge there. Strowman picks up the victory. Rhino got a lot of good shots in early. Rhino looked like he was going to hold off okay, but then Braun Strowman just started. I know I cut a lot out near the end there, but it was all Strowman. Everything I cut out was Strowman. He Irish whipped Rhino into the ring. Like, just Rhino would just run into the side of the ring and fall over about 50 times in a row. Hit his finishing move on him, got Strowman up in the corner, and this face is not a good angle for this creative character. But Braun Strowman picking up the win over Rhino. They're leaving the Wyatts 2-1 this week. All right, and the main event this evening is a fatal four-way Extreme Rules match. The Authority looking to punish Roman Reigns. Sheamus deciding to not cash in his rematch clause. I don't know, like, I know you guys know how the WWE went, but if you guys didn't miss last week's Tuesday Night Thunder, it was the TLC pay-per-view, and in my version, in my WWE universe, Roman Reigns actually beat Sheamus straight up one-on-one in the ladders match. Of course, the Authority is pissed about this, and they have decided to put Roman Reigns, they've decided to punish Roman Reigns. This is a fatal four-way Extreme Rules match. They originally wanted to make it a 3-on-1 handicap match, but they also decided that this would be a good time to test the other members of the League of Nations. Sheamus, of course, getting a week off this week because he's going to want to come at Roman sometime. He hasn't announced when he wants to issue his rematch clause just yet. Could be next week, could be at the Royal Rumble, but he's got to do it sometime within this month. But the Authority's looking to both punish Reigns and then also see any rising stars that they have in League of Nations outside of Sheamus. Sheamus is still there. Sheamus is still their guy for the time being. Like I said, if he starts failing, they might ditch him. Who's to say? But this was a good way to both punish Roman and then see just who's up and coming in the League of Nations. Let's hope the League of Nations don't end up turning on each other because of stuff that happens in this match. We'll have to see. Rusev and Roman been fighting on the outside. Rusev wrestles away the stairs. Roman wrestles away the stairs from Rusev. Hits him in the face with steps and just goes to town. Rusev rolling out of that one. Taking the stairs back. Wade Barrett and Alberto Del Rio beating each other up in the middle of the ring. And Roman taking stair shots. I got to tell you, Rusev and Roman are easily getting the worst out of this so far. Because if you're in there with Bad News Barrett, Wade Barrett, and Alberto Del Rio, you guys are trading back and forth. You're trading regular moves. You're trading uppercuts, punches, suplexes, things like that. On the outside, Roman and Rusev right now, they were trading stair shots. That's huge. Stair shots are enormous in matches like this. Rusev and Roman having reversal battles here. Going back and forth, burning up each other's reversals. Big German out of Roman. Bad News Barrett got Alberto Del Rio in the Tree of Woe. This is not an elimination fatal four-way. First one to get a pin wins. You don't have to be in this pinfall to lose the match or anything like that. Not Alberto Del Rio. Bad News Barrett going for a really quick pin there. Get the 2 count on Alberto Del Rio. Rusev and Roman fighting out of the ring. That actually puts them at a disadvantage in another way other than just taking weapon shots back and forth like they were. Being on the outside of the ring makes it harder to break up a pin that's happening inside the ring, which is the only place the match can end. It is not a false count anywhere. I thought about making it a false count anywhere. All right, and one thing I've noticed so far that I'm going back and forth on, the Authority may take note of, is that Rusev has been wrestling with Roman Reigns the whole time. Roman Reigns, the current World Heavyweight Champion. This is a non-title match, by the way, if I didn't say that, because they're saving that for Sheamus. But Roman Reigns, the current WWE World Heavyweight Champion, has pretty much been losing a battle with Rusev all match. And I know Rusev lost his match to Ryback at TLC in our WWE Universe on Tuesday Night Thunder. But it is something else something that you maybe need to note. Because Rusev super kicked to Roman Reigns. Rusev has been beating the crap out of Reigns. pretty much the entire time. They had a little bit of back and forth on the outside, and ever since then, it's been all Rusev. Alberto Del Rio going for a pin, but Rusev is not going to let him just take the victory like that. That being said, we got a double team going on. Looks like the League of Nations is teaming up on Roman Reigns, and right as I say that, Wade Barrett punches Rusev in the face with stairs and then hits him in the ball sack with a set of stairs. Roman finally turning around, getting back up, shaking things up a little bit, doing a few taunts, getting ready. Finally on top after so long. Now, it looked like he was waiting for something, but he couldn't get it off. Took too long, and Alberto Del Rio's back on top. I can tell you, if a member of the League of Nations wins this match, that is a huge deal for any of them. I mean, even if Roman's not in the pinfall, not in the decision, that is a very big bonus points for winning in a fatal four-way with Roman Reigns, with the current WWE World Heavyweight Champion. That's going to catapult somebody up. As Wade Barrett gears up. Oh, Roman's stopping it. Wade Barrett was gearing up for the bull hammer, and Roman pulled Rusev out of taking a bull hammer shot to the face. It's like Roman's putting Rusev on the very top. We're going to see a top rope back suplex. Another one-arm powerbomb. One-arm powerbomb from the top rope. Another powerbomb to Alberto Del Rio there. Roman going for the pin. Is Bad News Barrett going to break it up? No, he's not going to break it up because he's busy gearing up for the bull hammer. Bull hammer onto Alberto Del Rio. Alberto, that could be good night. Roman not in a position to break up the pin right now. Alberto Del Rio barely kicking out. Roman was busy suplexing Rusev. He couldn't get over to break up the pin. Roman with a pin now. Rusev kicking out. A lot of near falls here. A lot of close. Could end at any time. Big boot in the corner by Wade Barrett. He's going to go for a cover here. I don't know where he's dragging Alberto Del Rio to. He is going to go for a cover. At the same time, Rusev goes for the Accolade. Wade Barrett's got the pin. They both release at the same time. Accolade releases and Alberto Del Rio kicks out at the same time. Very weird call for the ref. There's two things happening at once there. One thing I can say about this match so far is that other than maybe one or two moves, it has pretty much just been Rusev in a 1v1 against Roman. Roman kicking out early at 2 there. It's pretty much just been a 1v1 match, Rusev versus Roman, and then on the side, it's also been Alberto Del Rio versus Bad News Barrett. So it is, Roman takes another stair shot, and then they both fall over really weirdly. It's been hard to quite call this a fatal four-way. It just looks like two separate singles matches going on at the same time so far. They haven't really mixed up their opponents any. Roman gearing up for something. What's he got?
You know, there's no other way Bad News Barrett prefers
Spear from Roman Reigns. Alberto Del Rio's on the outside. Rusev is down. Roman Reigns going for the pin. 1, 3 count. And try as they might, the Authority cannot keep Roman Reigns down. Put him in a fatal four-way match. They definitely, you know what, even though none of their boys may have won from the League of Nations, 100%, they got some of the job done. Roman's definitely not walking away from this one the same way he walked in. He took quite a few chair shots. He went back and forth with Rusev a lot there. He didn't take any finishers. He took a lot of stair shots, and he took quite a beating from Rusev before eventually manning up, pulling out the spear, and winning the match at the end there like that. Wisely waiting for Alberto Del Rio and Bad News Barrett to get out of the ring again before hitting a spear on Rusev and making the cover. And Alberto Del Rio was just a second behind. Alberto Del Rio has another second. He's able to break up that pin. I lied. There was a finisher. There was an Accolade put on Roman that he very, very quickly got out of. He was not in the Accolade for very long. And I think that might have been some kind of glitch on the computer's end because there was a pin and a submission happening at the same time. I think they both stopped at the same time in just one of those weird fashions. Alberto Del Rio nearly breaking it up. But your WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Roman Reigns, picking up the victory. All right, and that's going to wrap it up for Tuesday Night Thunder, guys. I started recording. If you guys want to know how much thought I've put into this and how much I've been trying to work out the kinks for this first week, and I'm going to get it more smooth, and I'm definitely going to be more organized next week. You guys want to know how much thought and how much time I put into this? I started recording at 1 a.m., 1:30, probably closer to 2 a.m. my time. It is now almost 5 a.m., and that is... And I'm about to go edit it, and then when I'm done editing it, I'll upload it, and then it'll be up for you guys. But that is the official week 1, I guess you could say, of Tuesday Night Thunder, guys. We got 2 more weeks after this before we lead up to the Royal Rumble pay-per-view event, and we will see where that takes us. But thank you guys for coming out. I hope you guys enjoyed the series. Please leave a like, drop a comment, matches you want to see, who you think should move up, who you want to see more of. I know there's a lot of people on the injured reserve list right now or on the injury list. We'll try to slowly bring them out as we can. But I'm Thundershot. I'm out. Peace, late, and see ya.